swear there's this like super sneaky spider. I don't know how many times I've came through here and cleared out all the webs on this. And I park it, and mysteriously the next day there's a web in this exact same spot again. Oh. Ooh, Technus water. What's going on, guys? So this should be a really interesting episode because we got some new equipment on the way. So we got some deliveries that are heading this way to help us with our gigantic barn door build process out here, and it should be helpful beyond that too. So I don't want to spoil it too much right away, but while we're waiting for that to show up, I got to work on some of the equipment I already got. So we got the little baby excavator. There's a little mod I want to try to do to it that I've been kind of wanting to do almost since as long as I've had it. So let's get dug into this thing. Oh, and I almost forgot, I got a ton of updates to show you guys on everything we've got done so far since the last episode. So first off the list is we did some reorganization. So I've been spending a lot of time kind of straightening up, you know, just post moving, getting stuff unboxed, putting it where it needs to go, but also doing some more higher tier organization stuff. Literally higher tier, because I got some shelving we made in here. So I got some racks that we made that just kind of clip into these like hooks that the container already has. It's just like a 2x4, it hangs there. Some little brackets, tongue and groove board. And since we have the high cube, I'm actually using some of the up space that we got in here. And I need it because we still got a lot of junk. So, but let me back up here. And we actually got some open space in here, so I can actually function a little bit. I got some lighting, and I got all my toolboxes are all accessible, and it's not too bad. The washer and dryer that was here is gone. We had to bring our chest freezer home from the last house that we had, so that worked out. There's actually a really nice laundromat like right down the road, so I really I'm better off without those. It used too much water anyways, and they took forever because they were just like the real small RV washer and dryers. That the like industrial ones, man, it's insane how fast they can actually wash your stuff. But enough about all that. We got ourselves an excavator to work on. Ooh, some of that Technus water still coming out of there. So I kind of already got started on this project a little bit. Get this air filter out of the way. I need to get this little carburetor off, and we'll see. I might need to take this whole back panel off to do that, or maybe I can just take this piece off. That would be nice. So I gotta get started on that. So look at how they got this choke cable attached. So here's my cable. I just got it disconnected, but where it actually connects to the linkage, they just got it like wrapped around, and like, you know, there's supposed to be like a thing in there with the cable, but they just like wrapped this around with this little tightener thing and smashed it down. So I guess I'm gonna take like a flathead screwdriver, bend this up, because this is actually connected to the carburetor, so I'm not gonna be able to get it off. And yeah, kind of janky, but it works. So I don't think I'm gonna go through the effort of changing it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna bend that and just pull that out of there, so that way I don't lose that adjustment. Alright, so I got that baby off there, and I got, so this is our old one, and then this is my new guy I got. So if you look at these side by side, they're pretty similar, but they're also kind of different. So this is the like China knockoff one that came with the excavator, and the easiest way to spot it is it doesn't have this little bowl thing right here. It's a sediment bowl. This is the actual, where does it say it? Japan. So this is like the legitimate one, like if you had a generator or something with the actual Honda engine on it, the same type of engine that's on the excavator, this is the carburetor that would more or less be on it. This is probably still like a repop, but this is a lot closer to like the original quality. So you get that sediment bowl. The knockoffs don't have that. And the main reason that I did it, so if you buy any engine nowadays, I don't think it really matters what it is EPA regulated. So lovely stuff means right here where you would make your adjustments to actually like set this correctly to what it needs to be should look like that. Has a little screw. Anyone that's ever messed with the lawnmower or something in the past should look pretty familiar. Yeah, you don't get that anymore. They basically make it to where you can't put a screw on it or a screwdriver on it, and it's actually like hot glued or resined or somehow kind of like stuck in place. So you can't grip it, and you can kind of see where I tried digging some stuff into it to see if I could turn it, and it usually doesn't work out. So the issue with a lot of these China excavators is, in most of these things that are preset, is that they have them set super lean, like, you know, just idling there, it's fine. But as soon as you put it under a load, like with the excavator, you ram one of the hydraulics, there's not enough fuel for it to push through that, and it will just completely die out. Kind of like it did when I was moving it over here. This bad boy actually has that adjustment. You can pretty much buy any aftermarket carburetor is going to have that, because they don't have to, I don't know, follow those guidelines, I guess. And this one has a little sediment bowl, so that's cool. But there is one difference I kind of noticed with having these side by side, is this one has like a special choke linkage, so you can control it from that cable up on the cab. This one is made to be like on a generator, and you have like just this little plastic thing that's basically turns it all the way on or all the way off. And yeah, you're not really getting a cable attached to that. So another quick update while you guys wait for me to throw that new carburetor on there. Speaking of small engines, we got a new generator. So this bad boy is a inverter generator. So this replaced our more conventional just noisemaker generator. This thing, you probably tell, you can actually hear me. The old one you wouldn't be able to hear me over it. I didn't really take any videos around it, but if you've ever heard a normal generator, you know what I mean. This one just kind of like revs up to whatever you're running in there. So when you're not going ham on it, it's not out here just going berserk for no reason. And for as far as making this whole off-grid, no utility type of thing work right now, that has been amazing. My father-in-law actually kind of helped hook us up on that deal, so that worked out real nice, and it uses less fuel, and I can hear myself think, because this is obviously my little work area right here. So, almost forgot, I got another little quickie mod that I want to do while I have all that carburetor stuff out of the way. Okay, that should let me be able to grab this. Yeah, there we go. So this way, if my battery ever dies, which has happened before, your only choice, jumping it is not convenient because the battery is under the floor and you have to take the floor apart. So your only other choice is to try to pull start it, and the only way to get the pull starter is like up through this tiny little hole through the top, and it's like super awkward. It doesn't work out very well. So now I can do that, but when I don't need it, I can just leave it down in there. All right, you guys aren't gonna believe this, so let me get you in here. Oh, you're upside down, but you can see that little choke lever, and look at this. Is that not ridiculous? That's choke, that's run. So I just took that and just screwed it on and what looked like the right adjustment just to see what would happen, and I absolutely cannot believe that. Here's a view from it from this side. You can see it. So, oh, that's hilarious. Huh, someone made this nice hole right here. I just had to move this forward a little bit. I don't know, man. That it's too easy. I'll probably end up putting a little zip tie on the end or something, because I just I don't know, I don't trust it. I wouldn't have wasted my time if I knew it was like that close to the same thing anyways. It probably does help that I did grease that up, so because it was super stiff, because it's made to just like do with your thumb and you like snap it on and snap it off. But yeah, if it works, it works. So I'm gonna get this finished, buttoned up, and we're gonna get this fired up and see what happens. If you're interested at all, I'm probably gonna put a link, if this actually works, I'm gonna put a link to it in the description. Check out the description. I got a bunch of stuff down there, some other videos you might want to watch. A bunch of good stuff down there in the description. But if you want to get one of these, this is kind of a universal thing, so it doesn't have to be a mini excavator, but like small generators, wood chippers, log splitters, all that stuff, like 7 to 13 horse, they all use like the same carburetor. You want to actually be able to adjust it, or if it's not running right and you want to be able to do something about it, I have a link to this one. I think this is one of the nicer ones, and it's not very expensive. So, and if you might get lucky like me and think it's not gonna work, and it still works. Well, guess who's back? I don't know if you can see it, but that whole web, I left the chair, so it's actually a couple days later, and I left this chair up. I ran out of time to work on it, and there's a web in that exact same spot again. I'm gonna have to name that sneaky little sucker. Okay, so yeah, I ran out of time, and it's a couple days later now, and I'm out here in the morning trying to get this done because we got a delivery today, and I want to get this all said and done, so we can focus on that later. So I put some finishing touches on. I cleaned up my little pole starter hole, and I put that like rubber weather stripping type stuff around it, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. It's pretty clean. And here's my zip tied, where's the handle at? There you are. Zip tied, kind of janky choke thing, but it works. So I think I got this put together enough. It is time to fire it up and give her a little bit of an adjustment, and we'll have to let it warm up, and hopefully I can get it to the point to where I can nudge the hydraulics and it won't just die, because the old one would just, like, if you'd have to have the throttle extra high, or you'd have to be really careful with it. And the way these little excavators are is the higher you rev them, the more like spastic the hydraulics get, because they're technically made to run with like low RPM diesels, but most of them have the little gas engines because it's cheaper. It was set so lean that I couldn't even start it without the choke when it was like completely warm. So I think there's some improvements to be made. All right, let's see what she does. That's a pretty good start. This thing might be pretty close. Because I couldn't even do that unless it was like totally warm before, or else even that would kill it. Okay, so that was already a huge improvement. That was actually one notch lower. I have this little yellow line, and right there's where I have to run it. And mind you, that wasn't even like warmed up all the way. So, and I was able to fully like just abuse the hydraulics, and it barely even coughed at it. That is, oh, I'm so glad this is actually worth doing it. That was a big difference. I didn't think I'd actually be able to drop that throttle because it's a small engine and the hydraulics hit kind of hard. And whew, wow, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know how many people have these things and think that the gas engines just suck, and it's actually just the crappy EPA carburetors. Like, these just need a little extra fuel. With that said, I did lean it up. I turned it in just like a little eighth of an inch or eighth of a turn, because I can kind of smell it. So it might be a little too rich, but it's definitely close. So at this point, I'll just have to kind of play with it and see, make sure it's not too smelly, and basically lean it up to the point to where before it starts going back to how it was, and find that perfect point of like fuel economy, you know, stinky exhaust smell, and actually performance. Okay, there's the limit. Who says you can't hot rod an excavator? That was incredibly better. So that is just barely even tuned up right out of the box. And I was able to take it almost a complete idle, and I still kind of had to try to stall it out. So that is really cool, and should make this a little bit more useful, because that was always really frustrating. It was so easy to stall out, and you had to have the throttle so high, and then obviously the higher the engine is, the touchier the hydraulics get, which is what these things are like notorious for. So just being able to put that throttle one notch lower than what I usually do should be a big improvement in that department. Irene's out here wandering around. What you doing out there?
Standing in my imaginary house.
So I'd say we still got some work to do. So we got the biggest update on the video is that our house is
Gone.
gonzos. So that's sold. That's all done. We're not traveling anymore. That is totally behind us. Huge relief. So that means financially we are not burdened with that anymore, and we don't have to physically like drive there all the time. We got the last of our stuff. So everything that's in the container is in there. I don't have to keep adding more and making more room, because there's not a whole lot of room left at this point.
We need another container.
Do what?
We need a second container.
Yeah, we would have to get at least like a supplementary like 20-footer if we brought any more stuff home. So speaking of all the work that we got to do, we got a delivery coming that I've been hitting at, And if I got the thumbnail that I wanted to use, you guys should have at least an idea that it's a tractor. So, you don't know what kind yet, and I don't even know what it looks like yet. So I know what it is, I just don't know what kind of shape it's in. It is new.
It's new, so
it
it
is
better
new.
be in good shape.
So yeah, who knows it. Hopefully it hasn't been like sitting out and sun faded or something, but it's yeah. So it's a big deal, and I'm really excited about it. But I want you to take your guess of what you think it is, because I don't think you're gonna get it right. That's the only hint I'm gonna give you. It's not super common. Yeah, put a comment down below of what you think it is, and then put after if you were actually right or not. So yeah, we're gonna it's a tool to help us, because obviously we got a lot of work to do. The excavator should be a little bit more useful now. We're I think I'm still gonna keep it for now. Or maybe upgrade to a bigger one in the future. We'll see how that goes. The excavator is a very purpose-built tool, and a tractor is like a really universal thing. So it should be used. It's like the Swiss Army knife of equipment. So it should be useful in a lot of different ways. I already have a bunch of attachments and stuff figured out that I want to get for it that should help us out a ton. So I'm going to play around with my new and improved little toy over here a little bit, and we should, before too long, next time you guys see me, we'll be unloading something. New toy. It's so quiet. Yeah, he snuck up on us. I don't even have my GoPros out. Just got it off the trailer. Real quiet, and it looked pretty smooth from him moving the hydraulics around. This is a Summit. And it should say over here, TX25. That was what I ended up deciding on with all the research and stuff that I've done. So let me get this out of the end of the driveway here, and we'll look at it some more. All right, we got the new rig up in here. So I felt kind of like a goober. I couldn't figure out how to make it move. I was stuck in the driveway for a minute. Not only did he have the parking brake thing on, but it was actually, he popped it into neutral before he hopped off of it, and it took me a hot second to figure out why it wouldn't move. So let me know if that's what you guessed. We did a ton of research on this. I originally started looking at like John Deere's and stuff, because I'm not super familiar with this kind of stuff, and I've been on a lot of equipment, but just, you know, tractors is kind of its own thing. So for the price versus what you get and how ready to go it is out of the box, because, you know, we're out here in the woods, this one ticked the most boxes. It seemed like the best value, and I didn't have to immediately add some stuff. Stuff like the loader is self-leveling, something I could live without, but it just comes like that. It's not an upcharge. There's already liquid ballast in the tires, which with these smaller tractors is a really big deal. A big thing is that it already has hydraulic rear remotes on it, which is honestly not, even larger tractors don't even come with that on them. So they have a lot of extra little accessories. I could go through everything, but you know, this ain't a sponsored video. So she is quite the unit though. You're sitting a good distance off the ground right now compared to that little fella. So you can get these with a backhoe, but I figured since we have the little excavator, it's basically like that arm, the size of it anyway, so I might as well keep that around, and then we'll use this for everything else basically. But yeah, you can get stump buckets. We can get a grinder to help with all these, also the stumps, and a grapple to move our giant piles of brush. Because the thumb on the excavator is nice, but this is like next level. And then we could use this to even mow down the road. There's so many things we can do with this. Green's getting a little test drive on it. That thing looks like way bigger when it's out here in the middle of all the trees. So another reason, besides for like the extra remotes and stuff like that, which will help us with attachments later, pound for pound, this is one of the heavier ones in the like compact class. So it should have a little bit more muscle, especially with that tire filling it already has in it. And even the delivery guy said that these, they're pretty powerful little things. So I think this is gonna be pretty sweet, man. Woo, tractor girl. Still in low?
Yeah, I got it in low.
That was pretty quick for low. Bumpy for our terrain right now.
What'd you do?
Heavy stuff, right?
Huh?
I said order heavy stuff, right?
I was just telling her, I was like, I swear to God, this is my torch for this. I just happened to drive up.
Yep.
Because they're pretty damn heavy.
Let me bring this right to the back here.
Watch out, there's a guy coming.
And he's like, I got a heavy package for you. I'm just sitting here with the tractor, with the bucket. I'm like, well, let me pull up to the back.
Kind of look like it's coming back towards you because it's caught on that other tree.
All right, so we got some play time with that. I gotta actually stop and like look through it and just make sure like nothing's about to fall off or something, because it is new and a lot of things to look over on this one. But had to drive it around a little bit, just kind of see what it was like. Had to see how fast it would go. Very important. So, and of course our forks just happened to show up mid-process. That I can't believe how good that worked out. But this is something you're going to see a lot more of. I'm going to get some more attachments. Like I said, that's the forks. I got those first because a lot of the things for this are heavy, so that way I'll have the forks, kind of like how I just drove up to the FedEx guy and had him put that in the bucket. I'll have forks, so if we get something bigger that's on a skid or something, this is basically just an off-road forklift, so I can go get stuff out of like delivery trucks and move stuff around. I gotta actually probably start collecting some pallets just for that like purpose. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of go through this and take some time to deep dive on it. And it came with a bunch of paperwork and tools and a hat and all kinds of extra stuff. So I definitely got plenty to do with this thing. So I think that's it for right now. Make sure you put a thumbs up on the video if you've liked it, and check out the description for some links, some other videos and all kinds of stuff down there. But thanks for hanging out, and I will see you in the next one.